Hey guys, what's up? So let's see here. I was thinking of making a video about more stuff. I mean, not more stuff, more philosophical stuff. If now it's not about a philosophy, but more just like one of those philosophical type questions. Now it's basically which came first, negative or positive emotions. And I don't mean like just negative thinking like, oh, that's bad, or happy thinking like, oh, we should be happy about stuff or good. I mean like genuine emotions, like say you stub a toe and like, ah, that hurts, or like say you like get a candy like, tasty. And I just want to make a quick video on what I like on what came first. Now, quick disclaimer, I don't believe there is a real answer because there's nothing that would give you an answer. So if you're looking for an actual answer on this, you're on the wrong video, and I suggest you just watch one of my other videos that have more definite ideas. But if you're into this, well then please listen. So basically, you got... Alright, how do I start this? The true way to figure out which came first, or not the true way, but one of the best, a way that would work is basically to figure out, you have to kind of limit your, like, the context of what you're talking about. You can't just say, like, you can't just, first of all, you should never just go in and say, yeah, this happened first. You want to do things scientifically, reasonably, shoot. Alright, let me try again. Basically, the best way to figure these types of things out is to limit, like, the amount you're thinking about. Give yourself a sort of set of standards that you can use to make your full decisions. So basically, the way I did it, or thought about, was I simply classified each type of question, or each type of way you would figure it out, like, let's take it like this, for example. A lot of it also, it depends on which religion or if you're atheist or religious, because those types of beliefs in themselves, like, basically, what's the word, they basically manipulate a lot of how you think already. Because if you're atheist, well, then you believe, or you should, not you should, shoot, I'm messing up, sorry. You most likely would believe in the idea of how humans came to be with the sort of huge bang, or it was some huge sort of scientific, like, phenomenon, or something like that. You wouldn't believe that some god created us out of nowhere. And it's the same if you're a Christian. You would believe that God created you, and that you're set on Earth for a purpose, and stuff like that happened. It's a little hard to get into because I haven't really thought of that, but I just want to use that as an example to prove my point. But basically, let's start off with the atheist sort of idea, how humans just one day popped up in the Earth surrounded by huge monsters, not monsters, but animals, plants, just unknown territory, and they literally know nothing, and they've never experienced anything in their life. They're just here, they just exist. Now, you could then say, like, well, then it's a no-brainer. Negative emotions happen first, right? Because imagine if you disappeared out of nowhere in a world you don't understand, knowing literally nothing on, like, your brain is kind of useless out right now, and all just that. Well, you could say that, but it also depends on, like, where they where they are, like, just show up. Like, is it in the desert, the ocean, like a forest, mountains, just wherever, because that also kind of dictates a lot of, like, how you would figure it out. So let's just say, for reasonable manners, they start in a jungle, because I think that's about the, like, area where they would be, and and you also have to figure out, or you have to choose, like, which type of age you want them to be. You know, like, would they spawn, not, I keep saying spawn because of my Minecraft. No, would they appear as a, like, toddler, as a teenager, as an adult, as an old man, like what? You know, and you have to think about that before you even get close to figuring it out. Now, let's say they spawn for easy manners as an adult, you know. So their brain psychologically is fully grown, but mentally they know nothing. So they're fully able to experience motions in a mature fashion, but mentally they're not able to comprehend what's happening. You know, so that kind of limits things a bit. And think about it. Think about like, let's see. How do I use the right type of explanation for this? Imagine a full-grown man today just being teleported into a random like a random place in Earth. Not place in Earth, but to another world that's almost exactly like the Earth. And he gets sudden amnesia and knows nothing, and you know, just that sort of scenario, you know. How do you think they'd react? Well, most people would say that they react like pretty sad. No, not sad, but scared. And that makes sense, you know, because I mean they're just there like what's happening. Now let's say a child spawned. I keep saying spawn. You know, I'm just going to say spawn from now on. Now let's say a child spawned in this area and it's like, whoa, what's happening there? Well, they might not be like scared or confused. They might just simply be curious, because you know how children, like especially young children, whenever they see something new, unless it's directly hurting them and trying to be scary to them, they don't actually like feel visually. It's like they don't react negatively or anything like that. They're just simply curious, like, hey, what's this? And that sort of thing. So one could say that they're not going to be scared and they're just going to be completely fine, which is agreeable. Alright, so to be honest, I briefly touched over the atheist sort of idea, but I mean, I might do more, but I can't really think of anything right now. So let's just go on with the Christian one. Alright, Christian. Now this one's a little more different, but it's also a little easier to work with, seeing as well how much the Christian sort of idea is sort of explained easier. How do I make golden? Oh, I need bars? That's so messed up. Alright. So, alright, let's say for the Christian one, you know, Adam and Eve, because they're basically the first two humans that ever, you know, exist. Now, this one's really interesting because it seems like a simple, straightforward answer. You know, they're happy and stuff. You know, because they're living in a spaceship, like they're living in this garden. It's like a paradise type, you know. But if you think about it, they never known any negative things. Like, the only things that they know are positive. They really know nothing if you think about it. They just basically know nothing. So one could say that that isn't true, like, human living. I mean, basically just be like if you were just stuck in this place and you literally knew nothing. You just only knew about like this one place, and it's nothing. I mean, think about it. Nothing really good happens there, just nothing bad happened. And you know, people say you don't need a reason to be happy, but you kinda do. You know, I mean, yeah, you really just need a reason to be happy. You know, you can't just, like, always stay happy. You can look happy, but you can't just, like, genuinely be happy until they eat the apple, which in itself is symbolic. They could be in any fruit, like an avocado or a beetroot or something, and it still would have been the same thing, because they're disobeying God. Now, boom, they eat the fruit. Their eyes are open. Now what? well, the first thing they realize is how. I think the first thing. It's been a while since I read the Bible, but basically the first thing they realize is they're naked. You know, their eyes are open. It's like, whoa, what are we doing? You know, they suddenly start feeling stuff like that, like, shoot. And, you know, and so, that happens. And so, basically, it's like the first thing in their mind that they find out about is that they've done something wrong. And think about when you realize you've done something wrong, you suddenly start. Well, I get kind of sweaty, and I'm like, oh shoot, I did something wrong, and then you start feeling bad, which is a negative emotion. So one could say that's a negative emotion, but I mean, one could say that their first real emotion was negative, and you could argue that their life doesn't really happen until they get kicked out of the garden. But if you think about it, they get kicked out of the garden, and then they're stuck to fend for themselves in this. I actually don't remember where they are, but like it's just I always thinking of like a dry clearing, like almost desert type. It's just dry dirt, so they're stuck there and they have to like fend for themselves. And all they ever known in the meantime was love from God and God helping them and always having food like just there for them, you know. And so that's why I kind of believe that the first real emotion was negative, because I mean, you know, I don't really believe that at the time Adam and Eve were actually living, like mentally, like they weren't mentally fully there because there's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to dictate how they believe, how they acted. No. So yeah, I believe that the first emotion was negative. You can write in the comments if you believe I'm wrong, and please also write like a reason why. I don't want to just hear you're wrong. But yeah, all right. I think I'll end it here. I'll live up to my standard. Tell a joke before I leave. So let's see here. I really only know dark jokes, but I have a few like light-hearted ones. So, ooh, I got one. All right. What did a skeleton say to us? No. Well, when does a skeleton laugh? When you tell him a skeleton joke. All right. Catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.